Chosen one, stop for a moment and listen closely. There are those walking among men who carry a mark the world cannot erase, a seal from heaven itself. You've wondered why the enemy couldn't destroy you even when everything around you collapsed. You question how you survived attacks that should have ended you. The truth is, you were never walking unprotected. You were walking marked. Have you ever felt as though unseen forces rise up against you, yet somehow they fail to break through? That's not luck. It's divine preservation. God's hand is written untouchable over your destiny, and every attempt to cross a boundary is met with resistance from the heavenly host. But here's what many don't realize. Not everyone who is chosen understands their protection. You see, protection without revelation still leads to fear. The enemy thrives on your ignorance. He knows if he can't touch your destiny, he'll touch your belief in it. So he sends doubt, confusion, and delay to make you question what God already settled. That's why some chosen ones live below their divine capacity, not because they are weak, but because they've forgotten the mark they carry. So today, you must awaken. The moment you recognize who you are, the spiritual boundaries around you activate in full. Every curse loses access. Every evil plan dissolves before it reaches you. The seal of God speaks louder than any attack against your life. Chosen one, have you ever noticed that right before your biggest breakthrough, warfare intensifies? It's because the enemy cannot destroy what God has blessed, so he tests it. Every chosen vessel experiences this. The attacks are not signs of weakness. They are confirmation of status. The spiritual realm recognizes divine favor, and resistance is proof of your significance. The enemy studies your patterns, searching for open doors, emotional cracks, or moments of exhaustion. But even then, he cannot cross the divine perimeter God has set. His only weapon is deception, making you believe that you are vulnerable when heaven already called you untouchable. You must understand, beloved, that tests are not denials. They are divine announcements that your season of manifestation is near. Think of Job. He was untouchable in essence, even though everything around him was shaken. God allowed the shaking not to break him, but to reveal the immovable foundation of his faith. So when trials come, don't panic. Pause and discern. You are not under attack. You are under verification. Heaven is proving your authenticity to realms seen and unseen. The chosen are not fragile. They are forged. And what God forges, no fire can consume. Many are chosen, but few believe it deeply enough to live it out. Chosen one, your greatest battle is not external, it's internal. The struggle to believe you are truly untouchable is what keeps many stuck in cycles of fear and limitation. You keep praying for protection, not realizing it's already activated. Faith is the language of divine authority. When you doubt, you deactivate your awareness of that authority. You cannot walk boldly in what you secretly question. This is why the chosen often feel invisible, not because they are hidden by the world, but because they've hidden from their own calling. God said you're untouchable, but belief makes it visible. When you truly accept it, your environment starts to obey your conviction. Doors open, favor multiplies, and unseen walls of light surround you wherever you go. Your belief becomes a spiritual force field, not because you shouted louder, but because you finally agree with heaven. Beloved, the untouchable life is not a fantasy. It's a spiritual reality waiting for your participation. Stop doubting what God already confirmed. You are chosen, you are sealed, and no power, no matter how persistent, can undo what heaven has decreed. If this spoke to your spirit, declare in the comments, "I believe what God said about me." Then share this message so another chosen one can awaken. Chosen one, your confidence is not arrogance, It's evidence. When you start walking in boldness, darkness panics. That's why the enemy doesn't always attack your health or finances first. He attacks your confidence. He knows that once your spiritual confidence is shaken, your power becomes dormant. Have you ever noticed how subtle the battle feels? It's not always a loud confrontation. Sometimes it's a whisper. You're not as anointed as you think. Or, if you were truly protected, why did that happen? These are spiritual darts meant to pierce your awareness of divine protection. When you doubt your authority, you unconsciously step outside of it. But the untouchable chosen one understands this pattern. You don't respond emotionally. You respond spiritually. You remind yourself of who called you. Confidence rooted in God cannot be stolen. It can only be surrendered. That's why God says, be strong and courageous, not because there is no danger, but because there is divine backing. From this day forward, guard your confidence as you would your own heart. It is the seal's voice, the reminder that heaven's power flows through you. And when you speak with authority, the unseen realm takes notice. Chosen one, pressure is not punishment, it's proof. Every diamond was once hidden in darkness, crushed beneath the earth until its true form appeared. The same happens to you. The moments when you feel pressed from all sides are not the enemy's victory. They are heaven's confirmation that your value is being revealed. You see, God's protection doesn't always look like comfort. Sometimes he shields you through pressure by forcing certain things to fall away. That rejection that wounded you, it was protection disguised as pain. That closed door that left you confused, it was heaven's way of saying, not this path. Chosen one, the untouchable are not people who escape pain. They are people pain cannot destroy. You may bend, but you will not break. You may weep, but you will not crumble. Because even in the fire, you are being refined, not reduced. The hand of God never leaves the chosen. He simply adjusts the heat until the gold in you shines. The next time pressure comes, don't ask, why me? Ask, what proof is heaven revealing through this? Because everything that survives the pressure carries the stamp of divine authenticity. Chosen one, there's a law in the spirit that few understand, the law of divine immunity. This law states that what operates in darkness cannot cross into the realm of divine light. When you are truly aligned with God's will, you exist in a different spiritual frequency. Attacks may be launched, but they lose power before they reach you. It's not magic, it's alignment. When your heart, mind, and purpose are synchronized with heaven, your very presence becomes a defense system. Evil finds no landing ground in a spirit that carries peace. The enemy may circle you, but he cannot enter. He may roar, but he cannot bite. This is why the chosen often confuse isolation for abandonment. God sometimes separates you not because he's punishing you, but because he's upgrading your immunity. Certain environments, certain relationships, they weaken your shield. He pulls you away so your spiritual covering can regenerate. So, stop mourning over who left. Stop fearing what's forming around you. Divine immunity means you are covered even when you feel exposed. The unseen hand of God stands between you and destruction. And once heaven declares you untouchable, no power in hell can rewrite it. Chosen one, if you believe in your divine immunity, type, I am covered by heaven. Then share this to remind another chosen soul that they are protected too. Chosen one, have you ever wondered why some people can't truly see you, even when you're standing right before them? That's not coincidence. That's concealment. God has hidden you in plain sight to protect what is still developing inside you. There are seasons when visibility becomes vulnerability. You think you're being overlooked, But heaven is actually shielding you. God hides his treasures during construction. Before he reveals a vessel, he completes its preparation. That's why many chosen ones feel unseen, undervalued, or ignored, because heaven knows premature exposure invites unnecessary warfare. You must understand, chosen one, that hidden seasons are sacred. You are not forgotten. You are preserved. Just like Joseph was hidden in prison before being revealed in the palace, you are being positioned for your appointed moment. The people who once ignored you will soon witness the unveiling of what heaven has been building in secret. So, don't despise obscurity. It is God's camouflage for greatness. When the time is right, your unveiling will be unstoppable, not because you push for recognition, but because heaven itself decided your name must now echo across realms. Chosen one, fear is the silent assassin of destiny. It disguises itself as caution, but its true mission is paralysis. Every time you hesitate to step into purpose, fear whispers, "What if you fail?" Yet the real question should be, what if this is the very thing you were born to do? Fear feeds on imagination. It paints false pictures to make you retreat from divine assignments. That's why many chosen ones stop halfway. They start strong but shrink when resistance appears. But understand this, the enemy doesn't fear your start. He fears your completion. You are not untouchable because life is easy. You are untouchable because your spirit refuses to bow. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's a decision to move anyway. Each time you choose faith over fear, your spiritual territory expands. The unseen world takes note when you advance despite trembling hands. Beloved, don't let fear convince you that safety is better than destiny. Safety is temporary. Purpose is eternal. The untouchable chosen one walks through fear, not around it. Because every step taken in faith rewrites the boundaries of what the enemy thought you'd never overcome. Chosen one, authority is not shouted, it's realized. You don't become powerful by merely saying you are untouchable. You become powerful when you know it. Awareness is the activation key of the chosen. When revelation meets identity, authority becomes effortless. The enemy counts on your ignorance. He knows that a believer who doesn't know their spiritual rank will live beneath it. But once awareness dawns, heaven responds. Angels move differently around those who walk in the confidence of divine truth. Every word they speak carries a frequency of command. Chosen one, awareness transforms how you pray, how you walk, and how you respond to life. You stop begging for protection and start walking as one already protected. You stop reacting to attacks and begin decreeing outcomes. You start living from victory, not for it. That's the secret the enemy doesn't want you to discover, that your authority is self-sustaining when rooted in revelation. Once you know who you are, you stop asking permission to exist. You start ruling from your rightful place. Chosen one, if you now understand your authority, comment, "I walk in divine awareness." Let the world know that you are no longer uncertain. You are awakened. Chosen one, every soul emits a spiritual signature, an invisible fragrance recognized in the unseen world. When heaven marks you, that signature changes. Angels identify you by it, and darkness recognizes it too. That's why certain people react strangely to your presence. It's not you, it's the energy of your anointing. Have you ever entered a room and felt an immediate shift in the atmosphere? That's your spiritual identity speaking before your mouth does. You don't need to announce that you're chosen. The realm of spirits already knows it. But this awareness is a responsibility, not a title. When your life carries heaven's imprint, every action must align with the mark you bear. That's also why spiritual warfare follows you. The enemy cannot erase your mark, but he can attempt to contaminate it through compromise. Every temptation, every distraction, it's a strategy to dull your fragrance, to make you blend in with the ordinary. So protect your purity, chosen one. It's not about perfection, it's about preservation. Keep your heart clean, your motives pure, your words seasoned with truth. The mark on your life demands discipline. Remember, those who carry heaven's signature are not just seen, they are studied. Chosen one, your reward often comes after recognition fades. God does not pay at the beginning. He pays at the proving. That's why you must not mistake delay for denial. Delay is God's filter. He uses it to separate the faithful from the impatient. Sometimes you watch others rise faster, shine brighter, and gain more visibility, while your own path seems painfully slow. But you must understand this. Acceleration without foundation leads to collapse. God is not withholding your reward. He's ensuring you're ready to carry it. The chosen are not built for temporary applause. They are built for eternal impact. Heaven measures readiness by endurance. If you can remain consistent when nothing seems to move, that's when your season of reward begins to unlock. The delay is not punishment, it's preparation. Beloved, the untouchable are those who trust the timing of their Father. Your destiny has an appointment. It cannot be hijacked, skipped, or canceled. When your time comes, everything that was delayed will rush to catch up. Chosen one, have you ever wondered how many battles you never saw? You only see the few that slip through your awareness, but there are countless others that never reached you. That's what divine covering looks like, an invisible wall that intercepts danger before you even sense it. Heaven's defense system is not reactive, it's preventive. The moment the enemy plots, heaven counters. You might think you escaped an accident by chance, missed a call by coincidence, or avoided a meeting by timing. But those were not coincidences. They were divine interventions hidden in plain events. The chosen walk under constant surveillance of heaven. Every step you take is monitored, not in control, but in care. When God says you are untouchable, He means that even when you walk through a storm, the storm is already ordered to spare you. So stop fearing unseen attacks. Start thanking God for unseen protections. The very things meant to destroy you have already been neutralized before they reach your gate. The bloodline around your life is stronger than any curse ever spoken against you. If you believe heaven has shielded you from unseen danger, type, "Thank you, Father, for the wall around me." Then share this message. Someone needs this reminder tonight. Chosen one, every vessel marked by heaven must pass through divine training. You cannot carry eternal weight with untested strength. God hides you in seasons of obscurity, not to punish you, but to prepare you. The anointing you carry must be refined through instruction, correction, and endurance. Sometimes you feel isolated, like everyone moved on while you remain stuck. But listen carefully. Isolation is God's classroom. When others see stagnation, heaven sees construction. He removes distractions so you can hear His voice without distortion. It's not that you're behind, it's that you're being calibrated. Every chosen one must be taught how to handle spiritual authority without pride. Before you rule, you must learn restraint. Before you speak, you must learn silence. Before you fight, you must learn peace. These are the hidden lessons that make you truly untouchable, not by strength, but by wisdom. So don't curse your training ground. Embrace it, because when you graduate from that invisible classroom, you will walk into rooms where others only dream to stand. You will speak with a voice heaven has approved and hell respects. Chosen one, restriction is not always rejection. Sometimes it's divine protection. There are moments when you try to move forward, But invisible barriers stop you. Doors close, opportunities vanish, connections fade. You may think it's opposition, but often it's preservation. God limits your access to save your destiny. You are too valuable to be everywhere, too anointed to mix carelessly. Heaven monitors your steps like a general protects a crown jewel. Every restriction is calculated. Every limitation has purpose. The untouchable chosen one must understand that divine boundaries are not cages. They are shields. You may see people prospering in things God denied you and wonder why. But if you saw the spiritual cost of what they carry, you would thank God for your no. He withholds to protect your purity. He blocks to guard your calling. What looks like loss is actually divine insurance over your future. So the next time a plan fails or a door slams shut, whisper this truth to your soul. I am being restricted for my protection. Because one day, you'll realize every closed door was heaven saying, not there, not yet, not you, chosen one. Every calling carries a mantle, a spiritual garment that announces your authority. But the mantle is not just symbolic, it's spiritual currency. It gives you access to realms others cannot enter. That's why the chosen often experience strange reverence or resistance, because your mantle speaks before you do. However, mantles are heavy. They require balance, humility, and spiritual awareness. Many crave power without preparation, but God never gives mantles to the unbroken. You must first survive the crushing before the cloak rests on your shoulders. The weight you've been feeling lately is not pressure. It's the settling of a new mantle. When Elijah's mantle fell upon Elisha, his identity changed instantly. So it is with you. Once the mantle rests, heaven expects transformation. You can no longer move carelessly. Your words now carry consequence. Your presence shifts atmospheres. That's why God isolates you before he clothes you, so you'll learn the gravity of what you wear. Beloved, walk with reverence. You are not ordinary anymore. When you step into a room, the spiritual realm adjusts. The mantle you carry demands both holiness and honor, not from pride, but from understanding who sent you. If you feel God placing something new upon you, comment, "The mantle is resting on me." Let heaven record your agreement today. Chosen one, your voice is not just sound, it's authority. When heaven anoints a vessel, their words stop being ordinary. Every declaration you make becomes a command that echoes through unseen realms. The spirit world does not respond to emotion. It responds to vibration, tone, and faith. That's why the enemy works tirelessly to silence your mouth. He knows that as long as you speak, you create. The untouchable chosen one must never remain silent in warfare. Silence is permission for darkness to advance. Every time you decree truth, you push back boundaries. Every time you proclaim light, darkness retreats. Your voice carries the blueprint of your destiny. Speak life over your family. Speak health over your body. Speak restoration over what was stolen. You are not begging. You are enforcing divine law. Heaven backs every word you speak in alignment with God's will. So, from this moment, stop speaking from fear and start speaking from throne authority. When the chosen open their mouths with conviction, even the air shifts. Angels respond. Barriers break. The earth adjusts to match the sound of your belief. Chosen one, there are battles you will never have to fight, because heaven already has. There are moments when the warfare becomes too heavy, when enemies rise and conspiracies form. You may feel cornered, but remember, divine justice never sleeps. God himself defends those he has sealed. When God calls you untouchable, he appoints angels as watchmen. These are not passive observers. They are active warriors. They intercept attacks before you sense danger, and they avenge wrongs done against your purpose. That's why vengeance belongs to God, because his retribution is precise. He fights battles you'd waste energy on. You might see people plot, slander, or manipulate, but heaven is already responding. The Lord has ways of settling scores that require no words, no revenge, only stillness. When the chosen stays silent, heaven speaks louder. So, stop trying to defend yourself. Let your purity be your proof. Let your peace be your protest. The untouchable chosen one doesn't chase justice. They attract it, because heaven always restores what was stolen and humbles what tried to harm you. Chosen one, there's a mystery few understand. God hides his warriors in battle. When the storm rises, you might think you're losing, but in truth, you've been hidden under divine camouflage. Heaven doesn't expose its soldiers to enemy fire without first securing their victory. That's why many of your battles feel invisible, because you're not fighting from the ground, you're fighting from cover. Every time the enemy thinks he's found your weakness, God shifts your position. You vanish from his radar. That's divine strategy, not escape, but redirection. The untouchable are always 2 steps ahead because heaven reveals what hell conceals. But once the battle ends, the hidden one is revealed. The same people who thought you fell will see you rise untouched. That's when heaven announces your survival as a testimony. You won't just come out safe, you'll come out shining. So when warfare surrounds you, don't panic. If you can't trace God's hand, trust his shield. You are not losing. You are being hidden until victory is certain. Type, God is hiding me for victory. Let this be your declaration as you walk boldly under divine cover. Chosen one, you've endured the silence, the tests, and hidden seasons, but now comes awakening. This is the moment heaven flips the switch. Everything that once confused you now begins to make sense. Every delay, every battle, every closed door was orchestrated to prepare you for this unveiling. Awakening is not just spiritual awareness, it's recognition of identity. You finally realize you were never ordinary, and you stop apologizing for your difference. The things that made you feel isolated now become the proof of your assignment. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, think differently, not from pride, but from clarity. Chosen one, this is the hour of awakening for the untouchable. Heaven is sounding your name across realms. Every sleeping gift is stirring. Every buried promise is shaking off dust. You are entering alignment with your original design. When you awaken, even your enemies are forced to acknowledge that something divine is upon you. Rise from confusion. Step into consciousness. The version of you heaven has been preparing is ready to emerge. You are not becoming, you are chosen one. Every hidden one has an appointed time of revealing, a divine moment when heaven announces what has been concealed. You are stepping into that moment. The same places that rejected you will soon call for you. The same voices that doubted you will testify of you. Divine recognition is not fame, it's fulfillment. It's when your purpose becomes visible to the world that once ignored you. When God says your time has come, no system, gatekeeper, or resistance can hold you back. Favor becomes your introduction. Grace becomes your reputation. You don't have to network, heaven networks for you. People are divinely positioned to lift your name where your feet have not yet walked. Chosen one, remember this. Recognition follows refinement. You are being recognized not because of noise, but because of weight. You carry the evidence of endurance. You have survived what others couldn't. That's why when God elevates you, no one can deny it, because they saw the process. Walk with quiet confidence. You don't need to prove yourself. Your presence will. Chosen one, listen carefully. This is your confirmation. What God has sealed, no hand can unseal. What heaven has spoken, no tongue can reverse. You are untouchable not because you're perfect, but because you are preserved. Every battle you face was meant to reveal the truth. You are shielded by covenant. The blood of Jesus is not a symbol, it's a legal covering. It speaks for you in courts unseen. It cancels accusations you never heard. It silences voices you never met. You are covered entirely. So from this day, stop walking as though you are fragile. You are fortified. When you wake up, heaven stands guard. When you move, the ground aligns with your steps. When you speak, the elements respond. You are untouchable, not in arrogance, but in awareness. Beloved chosen one, this is your reminder and your seal. You are covered by grace, protected by covenant, and sustained by destiny. Live boldly, walk fearlessly, shine unapologetically. The mark of the untouchable is upon you, and it cannot be undone. If you receive this word, type, "I am untouchable by divine decree." Then share this message so the world may awaken one chosen one at a time.